This presentation from tellmehowtodothis.com is going to cover how to build a website. Now, we're not going to cover it in depth, but we're going to cover just in this presentation, just real briefly, what is the process for building a website. Now, it used to be, back in the early days of 1995 and 1996, that when you wanted to build a website, this is what you had to do. And you'd have to put in all these little tags, and then you would type in everything you wanted in that page, and then that would actually cover the website you were building. And anything you wanted to actually show up on the page, you would put in here, and then you would save this, and you'd save it as whatever. Let's just call it test.html, and you would have to save it as all files. Alright, so you go ahead and save this as test.html. And then you would go and open your internet browser, which, by the way, would not have looked like this. Number one, Google was not even in existence back in 95, 96. But then you would go File, Open, you'd find it on your computer, you would open it. And hey, there's my page. This is my page. It's nice and pretty. Not really at all. So this is how people originally started building web pages. Well, then out came something called Microsoft Front Page, as well as a whole bunch like Microsoft Front Page that were designed as what was called WYSIWYG. WYSIWYG is W-Y-S-I-W-Y-G, and that stands for what you see is what you get. And WYSIWYG editors allowed you to do a lot of cool things, because finally you could start making your page look like you wanted it. And this is like 96, 97, 98, and you could insert pictures, and you could change the color of your text. It would be nice and fun to make some of these changes on your page, and you could change some of the size of some of the things. Anyway, you could make it look like what you wanted it to look like. What you see is what you get. That's kind of the idea. And you'll see up here all of the content, all of the typing that I did. Remember, in the previous little thing, I typed in this HTML and header and the body tags. Well, you'll see everything that's showing up on this page is now in between the body tags. What you see is what you get. And there's all this other coding in there, right? You had to learn some of this coding if you really wanted to make your page look nice, but you could pretty much do it without the coding if you wanted to. So that was the next generation of web design. And what happened around 2001, 2002 is some people said there's got to be a better way to do this. And out came something called a content management system. And if you go to Wikipedia, which I honestly just love Wikipedia, you can find a list of content management systems. And there are literally hundreds of content management systems. This is by no means a comprehensive list, but you can find a lot of different content management systems here. And we're going to talk about the value of using a content management system in a later video. But if you are not using a content management system and you are still designing pages using either this method or using this method, if that's your exclusive way of building web pages, it's time to adapt. And there's a lot of different reasons for it. We're going to talk about the value of a content management system in a later video. Like I said, just take this as your notification. You can't be building pages this way, and you can't be building pages this way and expect to stay in good competition with where everyone is going on the internet. So hopefully that's helpful, and we'll cover in a later video why you should use a content management system, as well as a couple of content management systems you might want to take a look at. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on tellmehowtodothis.com. Hopefully you understand, use a content management system, and watch some of the later videos on the site that talk about which content management systems to use and why you want to use them. Thanks for visiting us at tellmehowtodothis.com.